Hey guys, today's video is about modeling data cubes in relational database. Remember what we said before? Data cubes store data in data warehouse. And there are actually some methods that we can apply the same concept in relational database. We'll talk about three methods: star schema, Snowflake schema, and fact constellation. Schema in database is basically the collection of tables. And these three methods refer to different ways to organize the tables. The first thing we do is to define terms. Fact table is a table that contains two things: measurements and keys to related dimension tables. Measurements are intuitive. Any measurable thing can be considered as measurements or facts. For instance, average sales or units sold of a product. But what is dimension table? Dimension table offers descriptive characteristics of the facts, and its dimensions may have hierarchy. To elaborate, item, location, and time may require some descriptive detail. For instance, when is an item produced, the price of it, date of production. This kind of information is stored in a separate dimension table. Further, dimension may have hierarchy. Time can be expressed in different units, such as year, quarter, month, and week, and there is a hierarchy among these values. In this case, the hierarchy is defined by the length of time. Alright, let's talk about three schemas. The first one is star schema. It's the most basic type. In star schema, there's a fact table, which is a primary table. It's located in the center of the database. And there are multiple dimension tables around the fact table and connect to it. Say we have this sales fact table. The two attributes in the bottom, units sold and average sales, are measures, or you might call it facts. Also, there are two keys, time and item. Remember, one key has to be linked with one dimension table. So, the first key is time. It's linked to a time dimension table, which contains time key, day, month, and year. Therefore, if you have a time key, you can find the corresponding information in this dimensional table. The second key is item. So we have an item dimension table, which stores descriptive information about items, such as item name, brand, and type. Again, star schema is the most basic database schema, and Snowflake schema and fact constellation are kind of extensions of star schema. You don't have to force your brain to memorize them. Just think about their shape. Imagine there are 5 keys in fact table. Each one relates to a dimension table. Doesn't the schema look like a star? And that's why we call it star schema. The second one is Snowflake schema. It contains a fact table as primary table, just like star schema. However, the dimension hierarchy here is normalized into smaller dimension tables. Say, we have the database like before, but in item dimension table, we have an extra key, supplier key. This supplier key doesn't appear in fact table, since it's a representation of hierarchy in dimension table. In Snowflake schema, this extra key is linked to a smaller dimension table, supplier dimension table. In fact, supplier dimension table can also have keys that link to an even smaller dimension table. So, we get this snowflake shape. If it still doesn't clear to you, let's look at this visualization. We still have only one fact table in the middle, but there are so many dimension tables around it. However, not all dimension tables relate to the fact table. The smaller dimension tables are like divisions from the main dimension tables. And this shape does look like a snowflake, right? The last one is fact constellation. Fact constellation is also called galaxy schema. It contains multiple fact tables sharing some dimension tables. Significant difference is that we now have multiple fact tables. Remember in star schema, one fact table can form a star. Therefore, we consider fact constellation as a collection of stars, since there are many fact tables. From the example before, we have a time dimension table and item dimension table, but I only plot the time dimension table here. In fact constellation, we have an extra fact table, which is shipping fact table. If you look carefully, you will find shipping fact table also contains time key. This time key is related to the time dimension table for sales fact table. Therefore, we have two fact tables connecting to the same time dimension table, and we call this kind of database fake constellation. So, that's a brief introduction of 3 schemas in relational database. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed it.